The film? Oh, no, yeah, yeah.
Sleeping lookouts tonight, back door.
You going home, the door will be locked.
I think that was in that pile. Oh, this guy here, I see what you're saying, yeah. Luckily, she doesn't tune in very often.
What's this
so-
doghouse doing out front?
We don't have cable.
What is this other pile? I thought I just moved this.
Yeah.
I thought, those aren't junk clothes.
We don't have cable, and by the time she gets it up on the web, hopefully they'll forget about it.
Be next week, be all
Yeah.
even otherwise, bad.
Where's John? Where's John?
Yeah.
It's to bring him right out. Stop doing it. Public comment gonna be quiet today?
I got a whole list memorized.
Oh, really? I think we need to discuss new rules on public comment.
Four score, 7 years ago, our forefathers brought.
No, I used to be on a board where they did public comment at the
And
end.
dedicated
Yeah.
to the
So
proper.
people would eventually get bored and leave.
I used to know the whole.
I just wanna know, did you get id of all
We are met on a great
ones up there that
battlefield.
we should be tar and feathering anyways?
He hasn't been up yet. He hasn't even been in.
Oh, you haven't?
Cost a tire these days.
Oh,
He
wow.
didn't even know until he came in tonight.
Oh.
Mix up the order in that pile.
they didn't call them.
That might be on purpose.
Yeah,
They probably don't want you showing up.
probably.
They did that to a guy I know on the Conservation Commission here. He disagreed with a lot of things they said, so he started changing the meetings and didn't tell him where they were.
Oops.
Has anything come of that whole mess over there, as far as the board, budget board? With their,
It's still going on. It's actually not with the budget board, but it's because of a decision that was made and that was overruled. But it's the towns that have actually sued, and it's still going on.
They should all be ashamed of themselves.
They really
He's still
should.
kicking.
Yeah, I can't believe they,
Larry Emerson.
You're going into a hornet's nest.
Well,
well, at least I know now.
I can't believe nobody called you and told you. I mean, us, but from there you would have thought they would have.
I think you
good evening.
Mr. Emerson?
Howdy.
Sunday best on, I see.
I don't know about that.
Well, your beard's all combed up.
Well, yeah. I'll do that for you.
I see it.
Everyone all set?
yeah.
All right, Alden. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum this evening. All five selectmen are here. Could we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amendments to the agenda? Anything other than what you've?
Nope.
Public comment. Any public comment this evening? Seeing none. Public hearing. I'd like to open a public hearing and action for the graveyard automobile recycling business and/or junkyard permit applications. I've got these in the
Yeah, Paul put the order.
order. I've got it right side up. Okay.
So Jeffrey's got the main files with the paperwork that when everybody agrees on what's what, will be signed by you. I was gonna go with Ken Carl first, but I thought he was coming, but he's not. I don't see anybody here. So I might just pull him to the bottom of the pile. We'll start with Larry Emerson, because he is present. Larry, you wanna up? So essentially, I went through with my usual routine, did a photo survey on them. I put in black and whites for you guys to kind of look at it. Things really are pretty static as far as the junkyards go. Larry's yard's a little bit full right now, but this is typical for him this time of year. He gets a crusher in before the snow flies. So the recommendation for this year would be that his permit again be, as last year's was, conditional on me doing a re-inspection after the crushers come through just to verify that the material's been moved on, as it is annually. In my discussions with Mike, or Randy McMullen at the DEP, it appears that Larry's actually should be a recycle yard and not a junkyard. Because he does pull cars in, uses them for parts. He also takes cars in from around the area and then has them crushed and sends them out down the road. So next year, my recommendation is that we change his license. We'll license him this year as a junkyard, but next year we should license him as a recycle facility and not a junkyard. It's a 3-year review process and a little higher permit fee, but it more reflects what it is he does over there as a means of his business.
They don't tie his hands at all?
No,
Right, good.
no. No, other than that, nothing else really changes. You know, the oversight and screening and all of that sort of stuff is pretty much the same. It just classifies him a little differently under state law, because it's exactly what it is that he's doing. So that's my recommendations as far as Larry are concerned. That the condition be that I'll re-inspect, and like we did last year, he'll get the crusher in, move things out, and we're good to go.
And then after that, it would be, he'd only have to renew it every 3 years rather than annually?
After next year, correct. It's a 3-year review as a recycle yard rather than a junkyard. So the process would still stay the same, that it would be an annual, him moving the material through regularly rather than collecting for 3 years and then
Right.
crushing. So it'd still have to be an annual oversight in regards to that his material's moving through the way it's supposed to be, but your review process and licensing will go every 3 years instead of every one.
Are we taking these individually, or are we gonna?
I think with the
Public hearing, I think we'd have to take everything all and then
And then we do
do the
it.
decisions after the public hearing's closed? Or?
I have no idea. I thought we voted on them as they went through one at a time.
Okay,
If there was-
yep, that, to me, I think that makes actually more sense.
Easier, yeah.
Um,
So I would move that we,
I was gonna, just make sure that
Yeah.
Larry didn't have anything,
No, I'm all good with that, actually.
and one other is there any comments from the public on this before we? Okay.
I would move that we grant the conditional junkyard license based on the CEO's recommendations.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Larry. We'll see you soon. Let's do Ken Carl next, because I see he's now here.
Yeah, he's right behind you.
I know. Heard the message coming in. You want to come up, Ken?
Sure. It is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here was that stuff Mom wrote down
Oh, good.
about that.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so the circumstance last year with Ken was, his was also conditional, that there was a list of items that needed to be removed that we had agreed upon. The idea being here over a period of time to just kind of ratchet him back down to what seems reasonable, because there's a lot of stuff up there. All right, but they're going in the right direction. They did what we asked for last year, and this was what I was hoping for. There's an additional list here of material that will be removed this year through this licensing cycle. So again, his permit for next year will be on meeting the conditions for his permit this year. So he met last year's conditions. So I would include this list as the conditions of this year's permit, as we did last year. And just kind of keep moving him forward, and that's my recommendation for Ken. They've done a nice job up there taking care of what they said they would do, so I like that part.
I would move we grant the, sorry.
Just need to, anything that you want to add or say?
No.
And any comments from the public? Okay.
Full house on the public, huh?
Yes.
I would move that we grant the conditional junkyard license based on the CEO's recommendations.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Pass this over to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, would you put that in Ken's file, please? Thank you. You're all
Okay,
set, man?
all set.
Thank you,
for
man.
coming, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All set.
Thank
Thank you,
for
man.
coming, Ken.
Have a good night.
The next one is Troy and Lisa Peterson. Troy and Lisa have done some pretty good work over there. They've been over the past 2 or 3 years sort of
Jumping around here a little bit.
trying to clear the yard area out, clear out all of the underbrush, organize the yard a little better, but it's a little bit like whack-a-mole, because they've got to move some stuff to clear, and then move the next stuff over to clear and other stuff, and so they're almost done with that. They got one small portion of the back of the yard and back of the garage left to go. Once they've got that, the yard will be pretty well organized and pretty cleaned up, and they got some future plans for wanting to put in a structure over there to start actually full-time doing restoration work on these old muscle cars. So, you know, they're moving along well, they do well. They keep it pretty clean. I like the way they're working, and I think we should reissue the permit.
Okay, they're not here, but any comments from the public?
I would move we grant the junkyard license based on the CEO's recommendations.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
I
Motion
don't want to take all
carries.
of them.
Take as many as you want. There'll be plenty.
According to seconds.
Alvin Dennison, nothing's changed with Alvin. Alvin's probably got the cleanest yard of the group out there. He is hoping to sort of get started moving stuff out this year. He's had a lot of issues with, his wife has been ill, and he had some illness and stuff going on over the last couple of years. He's looking pretty good and getting around pretty good right now, so, as far as I'm concerned, although there's quite a few vehicles back there, it's pretty well organized, pretty clean site, and it's not imposing on anybody. It's really well screened. You know, he does a pretty good job with it, so my recommendation is just to keep him rolling along.
Comments?
I would move we grant the junkyard license as recommended by the CEO.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
And then the last one we got is John Pila. Again, nothing's changed at John's. He's still feeling encouraged to want to get in there and start moving some stuff out. Of course, the price of junk went pretty much in the tank here in the last year or so. He didn't take advantage of it when it was up, but nothing, I mean, literally nothing has changed there.
Has he, I mean, how about oil, any contamination? I mean, I see oil down here sitting on the side and.
99% of what John's got in there is old electric motors. The oil drums have been, most of these are cut in half, which they have to be by state law in order to not be considered a hazard or specially stored.
Does he see any upcoming, maybe take advantage of something and get rid of some of it, or does he just?
Well, he's hoping, and that's his intent, but, you know, every intentions are great, but his is the most benign with what's in there. There's not a lot of contaminants that can come out of what he's storing there. And if it comes time where something has to be done by anybody, it's probably the most recyclable pile in the town. You know, electric motors, there's a lot of copper in them, there's some mica in them, there's a few other things in the armatures, a lot of that stuff. So his actually has probably the most recyclable value. So it you know, over time, it's got.
Is he recommended to have a fence up? Is that what happened?
He's got the one up in front,
Right.
yeah, and it's a couple, it could use a little work here and there.
Yeah, so I had the neighbors ask about that.
Yeah,
I got a couple neighbors down that area.
I mean, if that's what you want me to do, I'll tell him he needs to tune up the fence, but if that's your recommendation. You want to do that as a condition of this year's permit?
I'd like to see it, yes.
All right. If the board agrees with that, that's what we'll do.
So are there certain thresholds that, for instance, if the fence has to meet, that the owner would know?
Yeah, there are state guidelines for screening
Okay.
that have to be maintained.
He's got an old deprecated fence there that's been falling down for a while.
Okay.
So this is gonna be conditional on the screening being brought back up to snuff here. Is that correct?
I'd like to see it, yes.
Yeah, that's fine. It is falling over, so. The neighbors are asking us, probably not that big a deal to stand it back up.
Right.
Probably prop it up with a barrel.
Yeah, well, I spoke to him a couple of years ago, because, you know, the stuff's been there longer than the neighbors have, but you know, the main concerns with junkyards are things like wells and that sort of stuff, where contaminants can really be an issue. I mean, the visual effect is some, but it's pretty minimal with John, but yeah, I'll mention it to him, and we'll get him to take those corners coming back from the front to the side. I know the one you're talking about, at least uphill from him a little bit. We'll see about getting some of that.
Super
straightened
duper.
out. All right, and I'm sure he'll be fine with that, so.
All right. Any comments?
I move we grant the junkyard license with the added condition.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. This public hearing is now closed.
So you guys will need to sign all of those?
Yeah,
And have the conditions
The
applied
originals,
to the
yeah.
ones that
Right.
are there. John Peeler's didn't actually have any writing on
Right,
for
we
the
need to make
condition.
sure we add that.
Yeah.
I'll actually hand this over there so that you can get that added.
Thank you.
And you want all the old ones too, all the ones that we had? No? Okay. I will-
All right, next, I'd like to open a public hearing and action for the general assistance ordinance appendices A through D. This is kind of a yearly deal, I believe.
Oh, you're staring at me. Yes, it is yearly. It's a state figures. We can adopt our own figures if we want. In the past, we've always just gone to the state figures. And that sheet is an outline of what that includes.
Any comments or anything from the public on our general assistance ordinance appendices? I will take a motion if anyone desires.
I move that we accept it as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I just look one over real quick? Yeah.
It's my understanding that if we want reimbursement from the state, we have to accept these guidelines. If
Yeah.
we set our own, then the reimbursement changes. Is that correct?
I don't know, to be honest, Sarah.
Moved and seconded.
Yes. All in favor?
That's a good question. We could get
Opposed?
answered though for future.
Right,
Motion
that
carries.
had been my understanding.
I think that we do though. I think that's how it works.
Right, I think.
That's why they set the figures.
Okay.
But
So
verify.
I'd like to, I'll declare the second public hearing closed. I move that we go into assessor session.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. All right, first, we have a supplemental tax for tree growth penalty, map 3, lot 14. And that would be, let's make sure I've got the right one here. Where's the map and stuff? There it is, yes. So this is the one. So that would be in the amount of $3,395.60.
I move we accept the tree growth penalty assessment as proposed by the assessor.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. The second one is another tree growth penalty for map 2, lot 28, and that would be in the amount of $157.60.
I move we accept the penalty assessed by the assessor, $157.60.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. I move that we come out of assessor session.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Consent agenda. And I would like to make a note, you should have one written down there under correspondence number 5, Spirit of America Awards Ceremony. That's tomorrow evening at 6:30 PM at the county courthouse. Is there anyone here that can make it to represent the town of Durham?
They seem to always do this to us, and let us know at the very last minute.
I know.
And, I absolutely can. I have an appointment in the evening.
Is it the
so-
county courthouse?
Yes,
Same place we was the last time,
yes.
when I was with you? Where
Who's our recipient?
where
this
Wade's
year?
gonna show up once he finds out?
Okay, right.
Yeah,
6:30,
6:30.
Wednesday. I think I can make that.
Okay.
Is it a shirt and tie or come as you are? A little better than that, I mean.
Yeah, I'd probably do a little better than that, but I wouldn't, you don't need to go like you're going to a large, you know.
All right, I don't need to be that elaborate,
No.
okay. All right. 6:30 at the courthouse.
Thank you.
Do you know how long it lasts?
4 or 5 hours.
It's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'd say an hour to an hour and a half, because each community has their own,
Okay.
and
I just want to let my wife know, in case she'd like to know.
I'm not sure, I'd be prepared with a couple words, just in case they may ask you if you want to say something about the recipient. So just to be, notice I waited until you had volunteered.
I noticed all, yeah. That's okay, I got it.
Be good too if we could get some better notice for this going forward, you know?
Do you think you could feed that back to the administrator?
I can.
We find
I
out
mean,
the day
it
before
would-
that we're supposed to be there tomorrow,
I
and
mean,
it's.
I did see that, he sent it out the 12th, but that's still only 9 days.
Yeah.
So. All right, so we're back on the consent agenda here too. And there is a BYOB permit in this as well.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Action and discussion items. Eureka Committee?
Can I tell them not coming tonight?
She just drove in.
Okay. We'll go on to the discussion of the website RFP until she comes in.
Okay.
And we have a handout on that. This is the one that you kind of lifted and redid for us.
Yeah. So, we've given Josh an estimate the last time, I don't know if he had a chance to take a look at it. And then I had written up an RFP that we could either use, or we can go with the estimate, or,
Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one. I apologize.
Do you want to table this? So that we can kind of take a look through it.
No, we don't have to table it. I mean, I'm not an expert on web design anyway, so.
I was hoping Shannon would be here tonight, and she's not. So,
Should we table until next time and see if she can be here?
yeah,
It would
I
be
hate to
good.
do it, but yeah.
It would be good, and I'll look it over better and discuss it with her.
That would be awesome.
Okay, so we'll table that. Okay, next up, appointment to the Comprehensive Plan Committee. We have one person who has put in an application and is being recommended to join. She actually has significant experience with comprehensive plan stuff in Cumberland. Her name's Pam Bosarge.
I move that we appoint Pam Bosarge to the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
Second.
Could you
Any
just read that?
Oh, I move that we appoint Pam Bosarge to the Comprehensive Plan Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Back to Eureka Committee.
Now that I crawled in here.
How are you?
Okay, we have 2 questions for you. Linda, did you give it to me now?
I haven't, no.
Okay. The first one is a Girl Scout troop that meets at the Eureka. They wanted to do a flower garden or a garden of some type. They're just little guys like brownies. And just with Ken mowing the lawn at the River Park. Those aren't really big gardens, and one of our members actually, Anita Sellers, actually set it up, you know, what the flowers are there, and we said we would help them. And that's kind of like I don't want to start a new garden when we have one that needs to be tended, and they were happy to take that over. and then maybe put something around the flagpole there, because the flagpole has nothing around it either. But I gotta ask, you know, it's a town property, I just can't say, go ahead and take care of it.
Sounds great to me. I move that we permit the Girl Scouts to garden at the River Park and at the War Memorial Park.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, and the second one, we had a brainstorm on a way we could bring more money into the hall, was to offer the hall out to, well, let's say 8th grade or a class over there, a math group, the fire department, explorers, a brownie troop or something, to have, now that we have the kitchen, have a supper or breakfast, and then ask them for 10 or 15% of the profit. So they're making profit, the building's getting some. But there's another, you know, we didn't know.
How do we, the only question I would have, and I'm looking at you because I don't know, is how that works with our insurance. Do we have to then make them pay to?
Well,
Insure
many of
it or
those
how?
kind of, like the Girl Scouts have their own insurance,
Okay.
Boy Scouts have, or Cub Scouts have their own insurance. I don't know whether the school groups would be covered.
Explorers?
Explorers are covered under
Okay.
BSA insurance.
Right, I just don't want to make it more complicated for the groups with the insurance. I just want to make sure that part can be kind of,
Yeah, they would have
Seamless.
to understand that they would need to have their own insurance, and most of them are covered under an umbrella insurance.
What about something like a math group or a group through to a school, or, you know, a boosters club, whatever?
I don't know if the school, well, I could look into the possibility that, but they're not part of the town.
right, like the athletic boosters, the softball and soccer, and those people, I'm sure must have their own umbrella policy.
Right.
You could.
But I don't know. if
Have any of them approached you for this? Is this part of why you're asking?
No.
Okay, I
This is
just.
just an idea, I couldn't advertise it out without,
Right.
Right.
Well, the reason I was asking that is because if they had, you know, that's just something we can go back and ask them, but if not, we should maybe find that out anyways.
I mean, we could allow them to do it contingent on the group having insurance and producing the,
Right, because why I was thinking of that is I know when private groups rent it out, the insurance fee is like $150 or
77.
77, okay.
Yeah.
And if these are small groups that are probably not raising
enough to do
tons of money
77.
to have that as another big chunk that of their overhead, it cuts into any potential profit margin they might have.
Yeah,
But if it's a school thing, there's possibility that they have some kind of coverage because they're traveling around and going to other schools and doing some of the functions they do. They go on field trips, camping
I was
trips.
wondering if maybe the
Yeah.
RSU would cover them.
Yeah, it'd be worth asking them. I know they have camping trips coming up, and so they must have something that they're covering.
we can check on that, you know, before we offer it to them, but I mean, the other ones can use it, the Boy Scouts go,
I
yeah.
mean, the
Sure.
logistics need to be worked out, but I mean, the idea in principle is there, you know. Seems-
I think the more community groups that use it and the more people see it being used, the better, and it inspires other people to use it. And
But if they can come in, since we have the nice kitchen, you know, and then they can, if they have it more, they can set 40 people, and then they can have another setting if they need it. And they're not gonna go over the limits that are allowed in the building.
I think I might suggest that you write up some sort of a policy to be given for groups that want to use it for that, such as making sure that you keep under the number of allowed people in it and things like that, just so that they're aware after they rent what.
Right, before they use it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one almost there, we could just tweak it to make it work that way.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to catch you up on what we got going, what's going on there, the chief just informed me we have 2 air conditioners that we're gonna bring over, and I'm gonna have Paul check to make sure that we have the capacity to run them there. And the Daisy Troops now, they're meeting twice a month there. That's the same group we asked. We have a mom's groups that's gonna be happening there on every Sunday after Columbus Day. And they're gonna meet at night from 6 to 8, just to get away. Somebody's putting that one in. And then, or at night, we've had 2 requests for rental. One of them for next October, that one get backed up, but I know November is gonna be for sure. I showed it to her, and then we're still working on the generator.
Yeah.
John came over today to look at it, got some numbers and did some calling and looking around for that. And that's about it. The telecommunication did some wiring, but I think you guys know about that, so. Any questions for me? And cribbage, we're just just starting our 3rd year.
You guys get a good turnout, at least there's a
We
lot of
had
cars.
we had 12 originals today. Really, this was really cool. 6 and
Great.
6. So. Any more questions?
No? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Next up is oaths for warden and 2 deputy wardens. And we have, for the warden position, Ann Neiman, deputy warden Jill Teller, and deputy warden Nancy Swinton. It's basically like an appointment. We just
So I move that we appoint the wardens as listed by the chair.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Discuss and act on heating fuel pricing. And you should have a sheet that shows that. Ruth has gotten together numbers from different companies and what they're willing to provide, and contracts and lengths and so on. So I'll let you.
Well.
You can at least make a recommendation, or however you want to do it. But
The only issue that I can see is that I don't believe that we own our propane tanks, and therefore, if we leave our present provider, it may be I don't know how difficult it is to.
It's not. If you go to a new provider, they want your business, they're gonna come swap it out. If they have to, what we do is you call the new provider, they'll come put the old tank out of the way and hook up their tank, and then the other company can come get their tank whenever they want.
Okay.
I think there's often a cost for that, isn't there?
There wasn't when I did it at my house.
Okay.
I told them I didn't want your propane anymore, and called the new people, and they came and did it.
It might be, for that size tank, there might be a,
Yeah, it may be, but I mean, it's still,
yeah. No, we've got one here that doesn't really say if it's for 1 year, 2 years, or,
If it doesn't specify, it's for 1 year. I gave Chief the one that I was looking at. It's not that one.
okay, that's for one. So this one here is probably the same guy. He's got one here for 1 year, one for 2 years.
How,
Yes, down the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes, the one that doesn't say anything is a 1 year.
how many of our buildings use number 2?
Just the Public Works garage.
Okay.
How do these various numbers fit into what we already have budgeted for these expenses?
They're all underneath.
These are very good numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, but just,
Yeah.
I was like to
Um,
check how they go in the budget first.
And do you have a recommendation?
Do I have a recommendation?
Come on.
Well, there's probably 4 cents difference in the propane from the, well, no, it's actually more than that, but from the very top one to the very bottom one. The difference being there is the top one can keep it for 3 years.
Right.
So that might make the 3rd year into this last one, it could change, because we all know what propane's been doing.
we could see it go crazy this
yeah.
winter, you know?
So that,
To lock that in for 3 years seems like a good move.
Another question I actually have on this is there any stipulation in these that you go with both with them to get these prices?
Is
Okay.
there also a minimum amount?
Well, we do between 5,000 and 6,000 gallons of
Anyway,
propane.
right? So they didn't have to
Yeah.
worry about it.
And last year we were under 2,000 at the Public Works Department, but I think we're gonna be between 2,000 and 2,500 this year because I assume it's not gonna be such a
Sure.
light winter as it was last year.
stop it.
The commercial rate threshold is about 2,000 gallons. It's at that point that the rate starts to ratchet down. So you guys are in the commercial phase on that one. I also felt there was some opportunity to squeeze down east a little bit based on the lower price from one of the other suppliers to see if you couldn't get a more satisfactory price from the folks that you guys have been doing business with so far. I think it's a valuable, it should work. The PUC has just recently started to up the storage capacity in the state of Maine to stabilize the cost of propane and LP. So if some of this is reflecting that expected leveling off of the supply.
Right.
That's why they're being a little more aggressive in their pricing than they have been in the past.
And basically for the number 2, the one on the top is,
It is, yeah.
so,
You got it.
The idea of a 3-year lock-in at that price, I think, is.
So we know.
but,
And it gives us
Number
some budget.
2 is only a 1 year.
yeah, I was gonna say that,
On it's the,
yeah, the number 2 is, I'm assuming is a 1 year.
yeah.
Because it just said on the propane,
Oh,
but
yes.
even at that, I think you're fairly safe.
I don't know.
Because if you give them the 3-year, next year, they're gonna work just as hard probably to come in on that number 2, I would think.
Unless
And if
something,
they don't, well, then you can split it up.
unless something
that's
changes,
true, 'cause,
because
Yeah.
I know that number 2, 4 years ago was up around $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good price.
That's my comments, I guess we're up to your suggestion, or your thoughts, Ruth.
Oh, we're back to me.
Yeah.
Well, I like the 3-year. I think it's a really good price and I
Which one of the 3 is? The top one or the second
Top
one?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one down.
Well, down below 3 is too. but-
Yeah, but it's also a lot more expensive.
Yep. Nope.
I think it's a really good price, and I think it'd be nice to stay where we are.
I agree.
Well, I mean, that's pretty competitive, so it'd be tough to not stay there.
Yep.
Let's roll the dice.
Do we need a motion on that?
So, do you want to stay with them for the number 2 as well?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
that's
You're within
cheapest
pennies.
by point something on the next closest one anyways.
Yeah, the only other thought I'd had is to go with Dead River or with the second one because you can lock that price in for 3 years. And it's
Right, that's the
it's like
3-year lock on the number 2.
it's only 3 to 4 cents more per
On the
gallon.
number 2.
Yeah, on the number 2, yeah.
Can we come back at down east and find out what a 3-year lock
let's
would be
ask
for them?
They can't do a 3-year lock on the
Number
oil.
2, I see.
So, we can split it and we can just say, providing the Dead River can do the 3-year lock on the oil.
And,
They indicated they could, but,
On just one, or they have to have both?
yeah, so they're
Well,
not
I-
contingent on both then?
Contingent, well, no, I would think that it's not, but when you guys make the motion, you could do that if these prices are for the 3 years without getting both,
Right.
then we should go with that, and if not, then we should stick with the down
What
east.
we got?
Now, just for another point of, because I know we've had some issues here, who have we been using for repairs and stuff?
Down east.
Is that who we've always used?
We have Calvin disappeared. I was gonna ask him if he's ever had to call anybody because he's always taken care of the Public Works garage.
Who do you use, Bill?
I used to use Durham Oil for that.
They're down,
They're part of
they've been
town,
bought out by
yeah.
down
I
east.
haven't really had anything happen
Since it, yeah.
Converted.
since I switched over. I'd have to look at the book. Did have one question, I forgot to talk about it the other day when we discussed this. If we do go with a different company, is there a tank changing fee if they have to transfer propane or put in their own tank or anything like that? Not all of them-
They didn't specify.
Not all of them are own tanks.
Right, I know.
Ours isn't.
Ours isn't.
Like the community center where it's buried, I don't know if we
I
own
can't
that or not.
imagine that we own
Why don't, maybe before we vote on this one way or the other, maybe we can ask them 2 or 3 questions. Can we split this up and is the oil and the propane from the second one have to be that way? And I would throw it out there to Down East about what we're looking at, and
Right,
maybe
and is
they'll
there
come
the-
around.
And the cost of the changing of the tanks. make
Yeah,
sure it's-
right.
Because I think Down East owns our tank, they just put in last year.
I think they even
The
have to
propane.
credit you. They even
Yeah.
have to credit you for any fuel left in the
So-
tanks.
So it's,
Yeah, but still, they
I
may charge
I
you.
mean, I think that's almost a moot point, because we're planning on going with the same company this year for,
Right,
and
right.
so as far as the tank changing, I think that's a moot point.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the oil
Yeah,
part.
and the oil, that's our own tank, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
We all have our own tank,
yeah.
Who, if you had to,
Sorry, I was gonna ask the same
all right,
question.
go ahead.
Have you ever had to have service done there for your heating? Who did you go and, who did you call?
Down east, I think,
Who did you call down east?
pretty sure, a couple of times last year, we kept coming in and the heaters were off.
Do we have a contract with them?
Not for service. Do we wanna look at having a service contract?
Yes, because I know sometimes that actually is beneficial. I know some homeowners that went into that, and it was a lot better for them by having that.
Dead River has the same thing too.
Do they? I'd ask them about that before we make this decision. 'Cause
So,
The only issue that I would perceive is that these prices are only good for 24 hours. So the prices may be different if I come back in 2 weeks. And I don't, I
Well,
mean,
you-
they may be the same or they
Yeah,
may
well,
be
if you,
lower.
I mean, you could email everybody, and I'll definitely check it, and, we can make that decision.
yeah, well, we can't make a
I checked
decision.
it tonight.
We can't make a decision by email.
We're not allowed to vote by email.
So, we're pretty certain we want to go with the,
Propane.
for the propane.
Yeah, it's just a matter of whether the second one is gonna,
Why don't we make the motion, and if she has any huge red flags, then she could let us know, and we
All
can
right.
bring it back next time.
sounds fair enough, yeah.
Well, like I was saying, you could make a motion that we're gonna go
Right.
propane with Down East, and then we'll go with the number 2 with Dead River if we can split them out. And if we can't split them out, then we'll just go with Down East.
Right,
all the
and
way.
as long as that is a lock-in for 3 years on the oil.
Right.
He doesn't say one or the other here, but
That includes,
just to be
does that include
sure.
all of our buildings, Public Works, and the town office?
Yes. For what, propane or?
But yeah, for, what, both?
Yeah, you're the only one with oil.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because last year I got from Lisbon.
I know.
Yeah, but,
And if you wanna keep going with the cash price, I mean, that's your decision, it's your budget.
It,
not really.
So,
they didn't give any price, so we don't know what they're charging, lock-in or not.
They don't lock in price contracts.
Right,
They
it's
only go
spot
cash.
pricing.
It's just cash pricing.
So if it changes from each
Yep,
delivery,
they
it changes from
match
each delivery.
Everybody around them.
so if I made a motion that we go with, the propane price from Down East at 116, and if we can get the, number 2 price from Dead River, without having to go into the propane contract as well, that we'll go with Dead River. Otherwise, we'd go with Down East
For both, yeah.
for the, number 2. Does that sound
Yep.
like?
Sounds right.
Okay. So that was my motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Act on trail near the salt shed.
I wouldn't
Did you
be
get a
looking
chance to
into
look
that
at them?
for 2
I did.
years.
You think, Matt?
I don't know what
It's
anybody
only
was
2 years.
thinking
If we
about
get
doing
that
with
for
it,
3,
but,
then that's,
Well,
it's
the
not,
two air conditioners are worth more than.
it's not some pennies.
yeah, the building ain't really worth much, not from what I can see. I mean, you gotta, you look in the back corner there, and you walk in the door, where the little piece of trim come off between the 2 pieces of paneling, you can see right outside. Yeah, actually, you can actually see daylight right there in that picture even, but I mean, the roof, I didn't climb up on the roof, but it don't look pretty, and there's water damage inside, and all the siding's pretty, I don't know what you wanna do with it, but I don't know who was looking to buy it, but.
All right, so we have nothing in it at this point?
Yes, there is some stuff in there.
Some maps and stuff that I think we got up this week, or we're gonna get up this week, just some.
Yeah, we got some box in there, it says
Surveys.
2005 and stuff for the town, I don't know what it is, but,
Level records, I'm just gonna pull out and bring it down to
Yeah.
the garage, and then there's a big metal desk that we didn't want.
yeah, that's, I don't know how they got that in, that must've been
So
fun.
the question is then, I mean, somebody has expressed interest in it, and do we want to ask them to, put in an offer what they want, and, have them look at it, or do we want to put it,
You gotta do an open bid for that.
do we want to put it out as a bid, and we'll make sure that the person is notified that that's put out?
You gotta put it out to everybody, you just
Yeah,
can't.
I think we're required to
And
Transparency, we have to put it out to
as,
everybody.
And there
if
was
we
no
do.
use of it for the town. Nobody here wants it.
And if we do put it,
Looking at the fire department.
if we do put it out, I would suggest that we would put it out stating that the purchaser removes, takes care of all removal and costs of removing, including, disconnecting from electric or whatever else needs to be done.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
as is, where is, with,
Yeah, I think the steps are worth the most.
with no minimum bid.
Yeah, it does have that monitor heater, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, you can, there's a couple things, I mean, you gotta take the boxes out that's got Townsend. I take out what needs to take out, and then,
Two nice air conditioners, and a nice heater.
But you have no use for it, so, okay.
Bill, do you?
No.
Okay, good.
Unless we're gonna drain in it.
Well, that was actually suggested.
Now, it's probably a step up from that, for the right person, but not much.
Okay, so,
So you guys wanna put it out for bid now?
No,
Is everything in it included, the air conditioners and the heater and
No, I'd take if the air conditioners are any good, I'd take them out.
Those are nice, yeah.
what are we gonna do with them?
That's gonna leave a gaping hole in the side of the building.
Well, it must have, piece-
They're built right in the wall.
yeah.
And where would we
And
put
what are we
them?
gonna do with them?
Okay, well,
I would
thought Calvin was
leave- yeah.
expressing some interest, so that's fine if it's not.
I'll leave it just where it sits.
yeah,
Take your desk out.
as
leave it
is,
alone.
where is, yeah, I mean, well, not where, as is, where is, and get it out of there.
As is, you move.
Yeah.
What's it-
One of the issues is if people are gonna go look at it, that's a locked gate.
I was gonna say,
They'll have to contact you.
yeah.
I mean, or we'll have to have them contact somebody, yeah.
I don't really want people traipsing around in there through all the other trailers and boxes.
Yeah, no, I'd rather have somebody there with them.
Right, that they need to
I don't know if you
contact.
could specify
We
a
should
date and
set
time,
up
a date and time.
Yeah.
a viewing time.
Yeah, that would- yeah.
A group showing.
Yeah, on Monday from
Everybody interested.
12 to.
That's From 9 to 9:15.
You know, there'll be a day that everybody gets to show up and walk through, and then they all get to
Now,
make.
what's the ad cost us?
MMA is nothing, right?
MMA's nothing, no.
There you go.
If you do it in the newspaper, you're probably looking at 60 or something.
I just do it on
would-
MMA.
MMA and the
Yeah,
web
that's
page
fine.
and town
Yeah.
channel, yeah.
That's okay, because it's gonna cost us, so we want to at least get a minimum bid.
Right, the news blast.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And have the bees too.
Actually, I will make, because we discussed it, but we didn't really make a motion. I'll make a motion that we put the trailer out to bid, with the understanding that it's a as-is and all removal costs will be, taken by the purchaser.
Yeah, and we want to make sure we put a time frame on when it's to be out of there too. We don't want to let it sit there for
Yeah.
4 months or something.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Did you want to put that in the Tri-Town news too?
They're gonna charge us
They charge us,
for ads, yeah.
No.
even if it was an information thing under or during.
I don't know if they would.
They would look at that as a little
Yeah, I don't
askance.
think they're gonna, let's get over that.
I think if we do it in the news blast and on the town channel and.
We're done with it.
Departments and committees, code enforcement.
Keep it short.
Probably not a surprise, I haven't got a lot, I've been out of the office a lot these days, so. Couple of quickies, I've been working with the Historic District Commission, they're getting together volunteer groups to do surveys around town on historic structures. And we've gotten a little bit of information from the folks at Maine Preservation, Historic Preservation, and some survey stuff that they had given us, but it's mainly a written survey which requires some architectural knowledge in order to fill it out. So I put together a really simplified pictorial survey that was actually put together by Virginia and Lee McAllister, so that certain specific portions of an architectural structure can be identified, like the pitch of the roof. You got a really steep roof, a medium roof, a flat roof, and you just go through and you start checking this stuff off when you're sitting there looking at a house, and it hones in on the architectural period, and then you can get a basic idea of when the place was built and what the significant features are. So I think that'll be help for those guys. The road commissioner and I are trying to coordinate the entrance permit requirements for new homes and driveways on town roads. And we're working through a little bit of lumps on that. We got a consent agreement. We're working with one contractor on Friday morning. We'll be setting up for a little bit of repair work on the Sand Hill Drive that got damaged by equipment during the process of building a house, and just figuring out how to sort of navigate and making sure that stuff gets taken care of the way it should. And the only other thing I got is we're gonna be buying a ton of new code books this fall, because everything except for the NEC, everything's new. We got the IRC, the IBC, the IECC, the plumbing code, everything's new. And there'll be trainings that we'll be having to go through to be updated on all of the new changes for all the code books. So we have put it in the budget, because I wasn't sure when it was coming. I figured it was gonna be this year. So if there's any relief in that next year, we can certainly shorten that budget, because we'll probably use most of it this year for the code books, and we'll back off on that line item for next year's administrative budget.
We'll hold you to it.
Well, I actually have a question about that. If they're effective, when do the books come out? Because if this says they're effective for 2017, but we'll be able to purchase them in this year's budget?
Yes, yeah, and that's the plan. I mean, regardless, the books that are gonna be effective if they don't do it until January 1st are still the same books if they do it December 31st. So it's not like it's a different book. So we'll get the books in this year's cycle. They should be coming up. The Maine Building Officials and Inspectors Association is trying to negotiate a group purchase to get us better pricing. So we get more municipalities all buying them at once. We should be able to get the IBC and an International Code Council to give us a better break on them. So we're working through some of that sort of stuff still. We'll have access to some PDF stuff, which is a pain in the neck to use, but until then, we'll get the books going. So.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ruth and I was looking over some property at the gazebo area, because I was thinking about this thing that we need to do something with at some point. And we realized that we actually have a little piece of property that's on the map is separate, but where the bank goes down and into where the trees is, that little gully, now I don't know really what's in there, I don't know if there's water in there, I didn't look around, but that's actually part of that property, so it could be one little bigger property. So I was thinking, well, what can we do to make this whole thing work at some point? This is just a thought, so if the public hears me say tear it down or not tear it down, don't get nervous, this is just some ideas. But I've said in the past, I'd like to see how we can make that handicap accessible for people. We have people in town that are in wheelchairs, and I know people have tried to use it in the past. Since there is not a historic connection to that as far as historical, maybe we should look at some point where that roof part is only the part, and the bottom is actually okay, but all the rest of the stuff is rotten, and I don't know how good that's gonna be when the time comes to fix it, to pour a slab there. But maybe we need to fill that bank in, and I don't know if we can fill that in. And the only reason I'm thinking of that is because we got a lot of fill we're getting from ditching, and some of it's really good fill. Is that a possibility? These are just ideas for you guys to think about, look at. Is that something we can do or not?
So to fill the back part, but like behind the
Yeah,
gazebo
so that
there?
it's flatter and more space for people to stand when they're having a function down there. You know, bring that banking down so that it's back further, make it better, more accessible for everybody.
So determinations on fill is that it's a drainage. If it's just a drainage, if there's 3 criteria that have to be met in order for it to be classified under the NERPA. If it doesn't meet those 3, then yes, we could put a culvert in to continue to allow the drainage and fill in that area. If there's any what would be classified as wetland in there, whether it's wooded wetland or open wetland, under DEP, without a permit, you can fill 4,500 square feet. With a permit by rule, you can expand that. So it, would take pretty quickly be able to determine if that's something we actually get to work with in there, and could expand it. As far as the gazebo is concerned, working with the Historic District Commission and some of the other stuff that's come up, there are some pretty old photographs in town with a gazebo right there.
Right.
In the 1800s.
Right.
And it looks just like the one that's there.
That's what I was gonna say. It is, there may not be any piece of the original gazebo there, but it has been kept
Yeah.
looking the same.
So it's the right structure in the right place. It may not be the original structure. It's one of those things, there may be a corner of a shingle up on the roof. It's part of the original thing or a nail down underneath. But I'd be more than happy to try to get a hold of Jill Johansson in regards to what might be some to look into some ways of making that more accessible, because she does a lot of accessibility work, and she might have some places she could point me to that would give us some attractive ways of trying to accommodate that structure in that way. But I think looking into filling that lot and giving it a little bit more room to work with down there, make it more workable and usable is a great idea.
I mean, I just threw it out there as a thought. I know we'll have to put it in front of the town, but, I mean, we've had the tape up there because you can't use it because we haven't had the money or whatever time to get it repaired, can't find a contractor. But between now and town meeting time, if we can come up with something we can present, and if we can possibly fill that in, if you can check into that.
Present it to the Boy Scouts.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we got a lot of fill that we're getting from ditching, and like I said, some of it's really good stuff. I know we're piling some of it out back of the town garage and stuff, but, you know, if we could do that, because you get 15, 20 people out there and a few cars, you're pretty well packed up, because nobody's gonna stand on the backside. So if we could make that better for the town, especially where we're using the flags up there more, and people are starting to notice it, it would be a nice place.
All right,
So just a
I'll
thought.
look into it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Ken?
Yeah, I don't know how many years ago it was, but in a period of 2 years, we raised $10,000 each year. In the second year, they tore that all down and was gonna keep the good parts to that gazebo and then fill in around that. Well, the only thing they kept were 6 2x6s that the part of the floor is laid on. I don't know how many years ago it was, but we put $20,000 into that. And it seems to me like it's gone to pot a lot sooner than it should have.
Well, the parts that have rotted, Ken, were the parts that they didn't replace. It's the base of the post that they didn't replace. The deck and thing, the framework, that's all sound as a rock. The roof work is still good. So essentially what it needs is new posts.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, so that shouldn't
I
be
don't know,
done.
I mean, you can look back on the books, but we put $20,000.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of money put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Phil Boyer.
And you can
I
see
think,
where
did
they,
it,
where they
or,
assisted or scabbed, not assisted, but they notched
scarfed
out.
them.
Right. and-
Yeah,
And redid some of the bottom parts of part of them posts, but, I mean, it's not doing us any good being sitting there like that, kinda looking a little bit like an eyesore, and nobody can really use it, so that's why, you know, just was looking at some of the maps the other day with Ruth, and then thinking about the fill in the back and saying, you know, maybe we can make this work better for the town, and especially where they're putting all the flags up there, get the space so they can utilize it better. You know, before we roped it off, I mean, there was people actually having picnics there off and on, so, you know. We're trying to get more community stuff going, and you wanna use the Eureka Center more, I mean, that's all that stuff written there.
And unfortunately, we actually do have money in the budget this year to do something with it, but we haven't been able to find from what I understood, there hasn't been anybody that's barely been interested in.
I haven't got
Taking it
anybody
on.
interested in coming in and trying to replace the post.
That's it. It's been the issue. It's been getting somebody who's gonna actually turn the poles, yeah? Not just
No,
put
they're
up.
not turned, they're rectangular, but you have to be able to support the roof structure while you remove the posts and put the new ones in.
You
and-
gotta actually build a false
It'd be
wall.
ideal to support the
I
whole
thing
thing
they were
once
laid.
doing, but might be able to do one at a
They haven't
time.
been turned? No?
I checked into that.
You know how it opens out and you step down and its face is pretty much the flagpoles? But, you know, if you were ever to really have a gathering there, most of the people would be, I mean, if you filled in the back, most of the people would be in the back of the gazebo. So could you conceivably open up the back of the gazebo, like just two of the
Do anything you want once we get the post fixed.
So it doesn't fall on your head.
Steps all the way around it.
Yeah. All right, let me look into it, I'll see what I can come up with.
Thank you.
All right? And I'll try to pursue a little bit more about getting some.
You know, one time, one of the Cub Scout guys, they were talking about turning it a little bit, and I mean, I'm not sure if that would be.
No, well, we already found it, it's in there solid,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well,
That
my only-
20,000 was well spent in anchoring that foundation where it belongs, but.
Okay, well, the only thing I was gonna say was, part of what Ruth's talk is there, if it was to be moved back more towards the trees, then you'd have more out front and make those steps, but I was just,
Or turn it
Thinking
around so that when you're using the gazebo, you're facing the ditch that you're filling in, which is the broader part of the parking area.
Right.
And let the flags be the backdrop to what you're looking at behind the gazebo, and I think that would work fine too, because there's
Yeah.
not enough room in where the flag area is in the front of the gazebo to do much in front of it.
Right.
It's just that little pie shape.
Right.
So if you're gonna expand that lot in the pie, you, on the backsides where all the room is, you could just, if you wanted to, you could turn the steps going the other way or put a second set of steps in.
Yeah,
And use that larger area of the lot as the activity area. Could
Yeah.
make more sense.
right. I would think you'd keep the steps where the flags are. That would be the small step and the wide ones up front, and anybody that's gonna have a function to present out there, they're gonna sneak
Yeah,
up
we
the
put a
back.
ramp in there in the snowstorm, the kids will have a way to slide all the way down.
There you go.
Very-
Just some
very
thoughts, so we
Right.
can make it work.
Alright. Thank you, Evan.
Thank you.
May I be excused from the rest of the meeting, please?
Certainly. Well, that's up to Jeff.
Keith?
Yeah, well, just to let you know, host testing is finally pretty much done. That is a repetitious task that I'm actually going to look into trying to shed that and see if I can find an alternative, because it serves nobody and it takes about 100 man-hours to actually get it done every year. So I'm going to look into alternatives for trying to get that accomplished, but it's pretty much, for all intent and purposes, it's complete finally. The ladder testing was scheduled for all the ladders in the department on the 9th, but due to starting issues with truck 24, we had to cancel it. It's rescheduled for this Thursday, the 22nd. Our EMS inspection with Maine EMS for Rescue 25 is actually scheduled for the same day, so Thursday will be a busy day over there. The 4 air conditioners that were approved under the Homeland Security grant in 2015, purchase has been made. I actually think the invoice is on the warrant for tonight, but the purchase has been made. They're currently in the modular, but actually the way the breakdown was in the grant narrative, 2 were actually scheduled for the community center, where it's a cooling / warming shelter / short-term shelter. So 2 of them are scheduled for there. They don't want them to sit in a box. They want them to get used. So I've let Pearl know that there's 2 of them over there that belong to the community center. Probably next year they'll drag them over there. The other 2 are actually scheduled for the fire station, same purpose. So anyways, those are in. That's 100% reimbursement. So once we pay it, I'll get copies of the warrant and stuff and get it submitted, and we'll get full reimbursement for it. I think the purchase price, I think it was about $1,800, which was a little less than what was actually awarded in the grant. But I haven't heard anything on the 16 grant. That was actually for IM responding software. I don't know where I know it's moved to the state, but I don't know if it's, where the state's actually in the process. I haven't heard of other communities being notified, so I'm assuming the state's still in their review process, but I haven't asked, and I probably will pretty soon, because I'm starting to get antsy. We're getting close to the time frame we usually get word. Paving project at the station. That's been the last week and a half. That's taken some weird twists. Basically on the 23rd, you guys approved Rick he was the only price quote I had, Rick Target, to do the concrete work at the station. Like 4 days later after you approved it, I had a phone call from a contractor that I'd spoken to actually prior to Rick, wanting to know why, giving a verbal price quote. It was a Saturday, giving a verbal price quote. Still haven't followed up with a written price quote. They have followed up with phone calls and text messages, and they were not happy. It wasn't necessarily a good interaction on either one of our ends in regards to the phone conversation and stuff. But I still don't have a written price quote. My recommendation is that we still stick with Rick. I have a verbal price quote saying it's going to be less. They want to move the trucks out for a week, and they want to do it in one pour. So I really don't know how I'd accommodate 6 apparatus outside, or maybe stored at Public Works or something. So it's really got to be in 2 pours. So my recommendation is still that we stick with the one we approved in the first place. That being said, the other piece that I've provided you, and it has some additional information on it, is Crooker, the paving price quote is 30,000. They included doing the catch basin up beside the road and replacing the cover on it, doing that cutting and replacing it. And it's two separate numbers on there. One's listed as 3,500 and the other's listed as 30,000 for the paving piece of it. The other piece, moving on down through it, if the road crew doesn't have time to really work on it, I'd recommend we use Crooker to do the catch basin piece and have Rick Taggett bring in the people he's used to working with as far as doing his prep work and his excavating, his cutting the bollards and stuff, or setting the bollards in place and stuff. I don't have a written price quote from them. I called them, they went by, they reviewed it, he called me today and he said that's gonna come out to be about $6,000, but I don't have it in writing. I do have the rest of the price quotes in writing. My request to the board is that we actually,
On this 3,500, what are they actually doing, Calvin, over there? Are they just putting a ring on and bringing it up, the cover up, they got just cover that's already there up to the hot top they're gonna put in?
I don't think they'd cover, that's a homemade rig they made of those landscape blocks.
Yeah.
Those,
So they put a new cone in, are they?
went around, there's no cone, no, it's a flat.
So what are they, what are they replacing? What are they putting,
I
top of the basin with a precast structure, I mean?
I don't think anybody knows, I think it's just a round, well cover with a metal.
Okay, my question is, what is Crooker saying they're gonna replace it? I mean, they say here,
Yeah, I don't think they know.
I don't think until they actually open it up,
No,
anybody's
Well, you
really
can't-
sure.
You can't see anything, 'cause it's full of water.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're looking at. All I can see is
we
the,
got a catch basin that doesn't drain.
no, goes across the road to a pipe that's got a field that's higher than it, so it
With pile in the pipe, so it's gonna,
doesn't drain.
it doesn't drain, so we got a catch basin that doesn't drain.
Yeah. Well, the pipe was,
Oh, we're
put in-
catching something.
Anybody?
the pipe was put in, the field was not higher. Going back in time, there was always a drainage ditch. that
All
went
right,
across it.
can I have a next
Put a
question?
hydrant there, just put a hydrant there, it's problem solved.
Why can't you drain there then?
Well, because there are culverts from both sides coming into it,
Right,
and it is the only catch drain for the water from the.
so it does siphon out somehow, don't it?
Well, eventually,
I mean-
it's acting like a French drain, it's
Okay.
just like holding area until it.
Yeah,
just
till
gets
it
on the
builds
ground.
up high enough to fill that little pond across the road.
And the only reason I'm
So,
asking, if you,
Across the road, it used to be lower than,
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
a-
there actually used to be a fairly deep ditch that went all the way across that field.
There was a finger drain that went down through, that apparently it's filled in over the years.
and the reason I'm asking this is because I've done,
That pond hasn't always been there.
I've done many of these already for Lisbon, rebuilding the tops and the cones, and that's why the 3,500 is throwing me off.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably take that cover, it's just a big round.
Yep, yep.
Well cover, with a square metal, there's no cone that I can see,
All
so.
right, so that's what he must mean by precast structure.
So what I would do is probably take off some of those and put a cone on it that came up to a.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. That's
But
what
it's
it's doing.
sitting on, the problem is the cone would be sitting on something that's,
So is he gonna replace the whole structure, or is he gonna?
no, just the top.
Just
I think the intention is just to do the top.
Okay.
But I don't think they know for sure what they're getting into
Until we
they
can
actually.
see.
So is this gonna be a plus or minus thing, or 3,500, or is they just gonna eat the cost if they dig into it and cost more?
Probably I should just go over there, cone it off, cut the paper, pull the cover off, see what's going on, have them pump it down, and then Crooker and I and he come up with a, here's what's gonna be down there, how much it's gonna
That
cost.
sounds good to me. I mean, right now, this is a pretty vague, who knows?
Yeah, I
kind
mean, I
of
don't
thing.
really have time to do all the work up by the garage.
I understand that.
Something a mini excavator could get up there and just cut the pavement.
Yeah, but you got the equipment to do that one. Oh,
Yeah. I don't have to take care of
Okay.
you got time to do this other one? As far
I'm good
as-
with it, as long as we get the project.
Right,
yeah, moving on?
yeah.
I wanna get the project going.
Okay.
The
I understand what you're saying.
paving plants are gonna close here.
Oh, they'll get you before we close, I promise.
Is that realistic though for you with everything else you've already got going on?
it. Yeah, I already told him I can't do the, I'd like to do it all, but I can't, it's just can't do it.
Okay.
So this 6,000 one you got,
That includes cutting the paving, that's for the concrete work. That includes
Concrete.
cutting the paving.
right, okay, so it's 6 plus the
Prep
44.
work for the concrete pour and stuff
Right,
like
okay.
that, and setting the bollards, one bollard at each one of the columns, so there'd be 7 bollards, and purchasing and providing the bollards.
Okay, that's why I was just making sure whether that was added, plus the 44.
No, that
Okay.
$6,000 was actually for the earthwork for the concrete piece.
Right,
And then the
the concrete
3,500
pieces,
was
yeah.
for
So you gotta add the two together. Yeah, okay, no, I was just just making
Seemed to
sure.
make sense to get, to try to get price quotes from the people at both contractors, from the contractor and the one that the other contractor was comfortable working with. And actually, as far as Rick goes, I asked Crooked about what I should do, if I should, and he becomes highly recommended from them.
I know he's done some with Freeport down there and worked with them guys, so that's probably why they work well together,
So when are they supposed to start that concrete work up there?
He seemed to think he could get it to it in a couple of weeks. If we gave him the go-ahead, he could probably be there in a couple of weeks.
How thick is that hot top anyways?
Cement?
How thick is it?
Paving, I think unless they went over old paving, the new paving that we put in the time when the building was built is probably 2 or 3 inches thick, something like that.
Oh, really?
They did whatever the base coat was recommended to be. I'd have to go to the paperwork. They did the base coat, but they never did the finish coat.
Oh, I was thinking that they'd done it
2.5
once
inches.
before. Yeah, okay. That was just curious.
So you're looking for us to give the go-ahead on,
Crooker, and hopefully if Calvin's gonna do the catch basin, I'm fine with that. I'll let Crooker know that he's gonna do the catch basin part.
Well, I don't know, do it.
Look at it.
open it up
He's
so
gonna
you
look
can
at
see.
it.
Cut the pavement, pull that off, barricade it off.
I guess I guess I'll rephrase it. What I'm hoping you'll give me is authorization to get the project completed short of the lines, as long as I don't exceed those numbers that I've put in my paperwork.
There we go.
So moved. No. No, I'll move that we give authorization to go ahead with the, we've already done the 4,400 for the concrete apron, I believe. So with the 6,000 for the bollards, the 30, for the cutting prep and the bollards, the 30,000 for the paving, and the 3,500 for the catch basin repair.
My assumption is it would be 30,000 for the paving, up to 3,500, or up to 6,000 for the other two pieces. And anything beyond that, I gotta come back and visit you prior to.
Did the earthwork include digging the holes for the bollards?
Yep, they're all
Josh,
set.
did you second that one?
I will. Who said, have we?
I didn't hear a second. Yeah.
Second. Yes, I did.
So,
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Yep. Okay. The next piece, actually, the next piece came to light when I was trying to research things to answer questions as to why things played out the way they did. And actually, I gotta be upfront with you guys, and I need to ask you if you're still good with going with the contractor that I told could have the floor at the station. I guess what had happened is I came to you, I can find my notes from April 5th saying that, hey, I got a couple of price quotes, I'm gonna talk to them, gonna see where they're at, if they can make the project still happen for that number, and when they can make it happen and stuff. And the contractor, when he got back to me, said, well, yeah, I can make it happen with my subs, and I don't know, I guess I told him that he had the job. And I was assuming that you guys had approved it. I actually even had Ruth looking for where you had approved it. I thought you had.
The inside floor.
Yeah,
I
I
think
thought
we
you
had,
had
yeah.
approved it, but we can't find it anywhere in the video, and we can't find it in any of my reports where I came to you saying, well, hey, I got this price quote. But I could have sworn you did. But the bottom line is, I guess, just in case you didn't, can I get you, because I'm still good with using that contractor. I do need to go back
I
and
move
make
that we
sure he's still
approve the
good.
repair of the floor for
$2,860.
$2,860.
Second.
He's good.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I think we did approve it too, but you can't find it on video.
Did now.
The videos don't usually lie, and I
Not
couldn't
usually.
find, she said she couldn't find it in the minutes, because I asked her for a copy of the minutes, and she said, I can't find it anywhere near that time frame. I sat down and I reviewed all the videos, the fire department, unless I did it outside of the fire department segment, but I reviewed all the videos since April 5th that are online, the fire department segment, looking for it.
Yeah, I remember talking about it, but and I thought we approved it, but
Well,
it is approved now.
I did bring it to you on April 5th and say that, hey, I was gonna do some more research, but, yeah. Good.
Come on, you can't find that on Netflix.
I tried hard. Next piece I wanted to bring to you is the Assistant EMA Director at, for personal reasons. It's nothing to do with the department, nothing to do with the reorganization or anything. It's just time and he wants to step down and stuff. Moving on from that, though, is part of our organizational changes at the department and trying to prepare the department for transition and moving forward. What I'd actually like to do is I'd actually like to, instead of just going out for an assistant EMA director, I'd like to go out for an assistant chief with the recommendation that the assistant chief should most of the time come from one of the deputy's position or the assistant EMA director's position. And that it really should be transition and exit plan, that it should be about mentoring and training the individual in case something, one, happens to the existing chief, but two, for hopefully being the future chief of the department. So that being said, what I'd really like to present to you is that I'd like to post the assistant chief's position at the department rather than the assistant EMA director's position, and require that whoever applies for the assistant chief's position also fills the assistant EMA director's position. And that their primary purpose, I'd like to do it based on letters of interest, so that they have to put down and tell me why and what they're going to provide for the community and the department. And that, to me, they need to meet the chiefs, or come very close to meeting the chief's job description, if this is supposed to be a transitional position.
So a deputy chief
I'd like
is
to handle
different?
it that way.
Is a deputy, you have a deputy chief?
Yeah, I have two deputies, but they have
That's
no
different?
interest. Right now,
Oh.
my two deputies and my assistant EMA director have no interest in moving further.
I
So
think we have to be a little bit careful, because I think I don't think that we can hire for that position with the assumption that they are automatically going to.
no, I don't think
assume
we
the
should
mantle,
either.
Because I think we have obligations that we have to post things publicly, and I think, we can't.
No, that should probably be made clear, though. It is looking to at least train someone so that there
Yeah.
could be somebody available, but that there
They
is no
still have to
guarantee.
go through the process.
But there would be no guarantee.
Right, that I just
Yeah.
want to make sure
Yeah.
that part's clear, that it's not a guaranteed.
Right,
The town doesn't necessarily have to do the process, but I would agree, it should not be a given that, hey, whoever gets this position, it's a done deal, they are the next chief.
So
of
is
the
a
department.
deputy chief lower than an assistant chief?
Yes.
Okay, that's,
In this case, my recommendation is really from the two deputies and the assistant EMA director, and it may not be in a position that's always staffed, but my recommendation is that as you get close to a transitional point within the department or something like that, that you look at staffing it from one of those three positions. They're already in leadership positions that are focused on a certain aspect of the emergency services within the community, and you transition them into this role. So to me, it's not even a position that always exists.
Yeah.
To me, it's a position, you may see that as we progress, that there's a need for it to always exist, but to me, it's really more about creating a responsible position to mentor an individual and hopefully prepare them to, even if it's not here, to be chief of the department.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's what I was gonna say, is it's still grooming them to be a fire chief, whether it's with the town of Durham or not. I mean, it's still attractive for that individual
Yeah.
too.
Right.
so.
And what is it, the anticipated, are you contemplating this as a full-time position, a part-time position?
No, actually, that's why my recommendation is the way it is because I think we have stipends for the two
Right.
deputies and the assistant EMA director. My honest opinion is we leave those stipends just the way they are. This person, at least initially, gets the same stipend. If we see that it's a worthwhile endeavor, well, then maybe we look at increasing that stipend so that when the assistant chief's position is activated or utilized, there's a little additional funding to it and stuff, but no, it's just the same as the other positions. It's a volunteer position with the hourly pay and the stipend attached to it.
So was the current EMA, assistant EMA director had the title of a deputy chief as well, correct?
So he was responsible, he was called the assistant EMA director,
Yeah.
but he was responsible for a respective area within the department.
Was he also voted by the department like the other two? The other two had voted by the department,
Yep.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one was not voted by the department before, so we won't be changing anything.
No. And I gotta be honest with you, I took it before the corporation at their last annual meeting. My honest opinion is, some of that's tying the hands of the community and the fire chiefs that the town of Durham should. And I presented it, it wasn't necessarily well received, we voted on it. But, and they're supposed to make bylaw changes, which going back in time is actually the things that the board requested, that the bylaws come more in line with the job descriptions that the community has established. And my honest opinion, and I said this at the annual meeting, is that if we don't get those job descriptions or the process within the corporation to come in line with the community, my honest opinion is that the community takes precedence, and that much as I'm a die-hard corporation guy, to me the responsibility is to the town of Durham. So you guys requested it to happen, and you requested it, I believe it was actually almost 2 years ago, you requested for those bylaw changes, so that we never ran into that same situation again. Might have even been 3 years ago.
Okay, so, any thoughts on, on this?
No, I'm fine with that. It's gonna be basically a dual role by the looks, and it's
I
a
think whatever the chief wants to do, it's fine with
work in
me.
progress.
So,
He probably have to, if it comes available, it'll be one of the things you gotta apply for like everybody else did.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
So in that case, I would make the motion that the chief put out internal, you want to do this internally, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's put out internally for an assistant chief who would also fill the role of assistant EMA director.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion.
Thank you. The per diem coverage at the station, I just kind of wanted to, I'm going to have the report for you, but I really have to, I guess in some aspects, I'm looking for advice in regard to, I guess, what you people feel the community is looking for from it. I guess, because the community's, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I need to know for sure is what the community's expectations of the department are. Because once I know for sure what the community's expectations of the department are, I can tell the community what we can provide based on the staffing and the volunteers and stuff, and I can provide that package that we talked about before, where if our expectations are this is what we can provide, and then there's several ways we can fill the gap, or we can just live with where it is and stuff like that. So I guess I'm kind of looking for advice. One, I'm trying to keep you appraised of where we're at with stuff, but the other side of it is I'm also looking at advice and maybe how, I know what I think, I know what I not think, I know what I want as a citizen of the town of Durham for emergency services, but I tend to lean more towards. No. Yeah, you wouldn't think so. Who would have thought that, huh?
Are you asking about like response times?
Well, no, not just, there were part-time ways into it. What are your expectations when you call 911? What are we gonna provide for services?
What do you expect?
What do you expect to arrive at your doorstep when you
Time.
call 911?
Time-wise.
Not just time, but staffing. Do you expect qualified staff to transport you to the hospital? Do you expect,
That's something we have to put out to the public. That's something.
So if you may have, people may have a different answer whether they're responding to my house or my neighbor's house too.
Yeah, especially if they don't like their neighbor. But to me, part of it's got to be established based on. I can establish it based on generally accepted expectations, I guess. My expectations. As a citizen, not as fire chief. But I guess really I got to have that, and then I can say this is what we can do, and that's what I've been trying to also get the guys on board with too. Is I think I've reported this, that the not always being able to be there for everything, and the staffing issues are actually having kind of a roundabout effect. They're impacting morale, because most of these people are the type of people that feel if they say they're going to do something, they have to be there for every single thing. And they're failed if they're not there for every single thing. And then when they look right at the people around them, their expectations are that the people around them are going to be there for everything. And with the call volume and the expectations, we can't meet it anymore.
Would it make sense to possibly have some sort of a public hearing, public meeting or something, invite to discuss these things
I don't think you get a lot of people that way.
No,
If we had
I mean-
if we had a table with some questions at the,
I
at the
think
voting.
maybe even an electronic survey might actually end
Right,
up
and
with.
having, I think people have to, at least my sense is that I'm not sure that's a question that people can answer in a vacuum. I think they have to know sort of what the various options.
Yeah, well, obviously, to
Because
make a
everybody is
decision.
gonna say immediately, if there's an emergency, they want immediate, competent, they want the Mayo Clinic on their doorstep, that's not.
Well, and
that's
in reality,
Yeah.
if that's what really is the community we want, that's fine. That's really what I need to establish is, as a community, what do we really want? Because I realize, I might want to drive around in, no, actually, I kind of like my truck, so, but I might want to drive around in a certain vehicle or own a certain home, but we all make,
Right, and so that's what I'm, like, people have
all
to
make
kind of figure out what,
and I need to figure out where people want us to be, because I know where we're at, and then I need to present a package to you guys, to the budget committee, and hopefully ultimately to the town people. I hope they're ultimately the ones that weigh in on the decision, because it impacts what we can provide them for service.
Maybe we could work with Shannon to come up with like a public a survey monkey type thing that we could have a link in our newsletter and on the web town page, have it open for a certain period of time, but work with her as far as what type of questions we put out there and so on. 'Cause
Yeah, I can
how
go with that.
you write questions can often affect the way people answer too.
well, and my sense is people are gonna want the best possible service that they
Least
can
amount.
afford, and so that's what I mean about sort of making, people aren't necessarily gonna understand what the cost of having.
Metaphor sitting over your house.
Fully staffed, 24-hour paid staff at the department. There's contracting out transport. And then there's a sort of a whole spectrum of things in between. And my sense is that people are going to be seeking to kind of create that balance of what's the best service we can afford.
Yep. But I guess
And where's that tipping point?
twofold. I guess to me, a survey or whatever we do, and that's part of the reason why I keep talking to you guys about it, is because I need to make sure the public understands where we are. Because so to me, the other side of a survey is it doesn't just ask a question about what expectations are. It makes you think about what your expectations are. Because most of us, until we dial 911, we really don't think about what our expectations are. We assume if we dial 911, we're going to get instant response, and we are going to have people coming out of the woodwork and stuff. We're going to have way more than what we want.
Of course, it's a personal question to everybody, but me, I understand being in a rural area and me living out in the country, I don't expect that. I mean, if I wanted that, then I move in city, and I move in town if I want that. I mean, that was my choice to live out here, and the quick as you guys can is gonna be quick as you guys can, regardless if it's 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's my choice to live out here.
Yep. No, and that's kind of my point, because I think we have a mix of many people move to the town and they don't realize. Actually, a lot of people call the station and assume that the station is staffed, or they probably call the town office assuming we have law enforcement and stuff like that. So the expectations across the boards is different.
I don't.
But I guess the expectations are different. So I guess to me, the survey, the meeting, or whatever we do is really to get people thinking about what are my expectations. Because the bottom line is I know what I want, but it shouldn't be established based on what I want. It should be established based on a collective opinion, and then I should give you, hey, we can keep going the way we are, and this is what you get.
Right.
And this step, and I should give you steps to get to where there's a collective, a community, where we want to be. And
There's probably there's two things there. There's how long is it gonna take to get there, and are we staffing it with somebody that can take care of heart attacks, or somebody can take care of a broken finger?
Yeah, well, to me, some of the questions need to say, well, hey, what are your expectations? Are you gonna,
And I'm sure that
I know what
whenever you
most people are
call,
gonna say.
yeah, you're expecting they're gonna get there as quick as they can, but when they get there, my assumption would be, and I would probably feel the same way, if it's an emergency, I'm flustered, or my wife's flustered, or somebody's flustered, and they're expecting a person to show up as top notch. I would be surprised if they would.
In a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe even before the call was placed in the first place.
Right, no, yeah.
10 minutes when, 5-10 minutes when you're making a call like that can seem like an awful long
It's an
time.
eternity.
Yeah.
It is an eternity. And in all honesty, even with expectations like you have, if I place that call, I still want somebody there. I might have moved here knowing what you said you knew. But I still want, I'm kind of hoping, well, man, I hope this is the day they got plenty of people kicking around, because I'd really like to have them.
Only 2 miles from the station, come on, guys.
You knew that and you was told that, but you was hoping that 15 minutes is really about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's what you.
Realistically, though, if people get back to you, what are you able to do differently than you're already doing?
Well, no, I can establish a picture. In all honesty, you mentioned 24/7.
Right.
Even though I might be pro public safety, I have that thrifty side. I just can't. I'd probably never. What I'd represent would never be.
Right, I was just saying it could run the spectrum from, from.
So really, to establish where are we as a community, more of the community may expect not even what I want, but rather the 24/7 stuff. So that I can, not that we're going to approve it, but so that I can paint that picture in steps. That you want 24/7, 2
This is how
people
we
all
get
the
there.
time, 24/7, but this is what we can give you. So here's your steps. Kind of like when you go car shopping. This is the
is what's
car I
gonna
really
cost.
want.
Yeah.
This is the car I already got. Where can I go?
Do a lot of your calls come in the evenings, like late afternoon, evenings, days?
Yeah, that's a kicker. Going back in time, 60 to 70% of our call volume is during the daytime.
Does it matter if it's during the week or weekends?
No, it's primarily weekdays.
Yeah.
We'll get rashes. Actually, weekends is when we have our rashes, our 3, 4, 5 call sessions, all within a couple hours. It is usually weekends. It's rarely evenings. It's usually weekends, but days.
But it's the daytime weekday calls when all of your staff is at work at their
Right.
their full-time regular
and
paying jobs.
The fire service is typically construction workers and people that work in hands-on trades. So whenever the economy booms, what trades really benefit from the economy? So I'm not saying our economy is booming, but our economy's definitely improved. There aren't a lot of people out there looking for work, hanging around. So Durham's a bedroom community, which is strike 2. Our housing costs are up there, which is strike 3. We daytime staffing. Even nighttime is going down, but daytime we really struggle, especially with everybody working now.
Do we run into any liability issues, especially on the EMS side, if we don't provide a certain type of response or?
No, we do, but we do provide a response.
Right.
It may not be that 3 minutes you just said you wanted. Typically, it'll go through a process of 2 tones, and if we can't staff the call, then it will, or if we can only do, because we've actually daytimes I've staffed with a paramedic. I've had a paramedic there at least once, and I couldn't come up with a driver. So the paramedic took the rescue and did first response to the scene and called the closest service. It's all set up, and there's a fail-safe mechanism where actually I'm working on plugging any possible holes in it, because it was set up based on our companies and stuff. So I'm looking at that simultaneously, trying to make sure we got all the holes plugged. But they basically have a list so that wherever our second due service is, in the absence of us having the availability of personnel, they're going to call that second due service. So
Okay. And you have to send 2 out each time?
2
people on each call? Or is it
So I
more
can't
than
do a
that?
rescue without 2.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. Or is it more than that? I didn't know.
No, as long as we have 2, it depends, obviously. Yeah. It depends on the individual, where they're located, not just weight. It's not just about weight or size of the individual, but it's also where they're located. You get somebody up on the 2nd, 3rd floor of a narrow, winding stairway coming out of a house. 3 or 4 people may not be enough. You may not actually be able to get 3 or 4 people. So dependent on 2 can do it, especially if the person is average weight and easily accessible.
So if you had the other scenario, then you, when they got
Which
there,
is
they'd
more
call.
often than not the normal.
Yeah.
3 is really, most rescues staff with 2.
Yeah, okay.
3, Well, if you have 3, that's great, because then you don't have to worry about somebody putting too much on their back. Usually you can figure something out. But anyways, I'm kind of looking for advice.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to have answers for me tonight, but and I can configure things based on my expectations. But I know from what you said, my expectations aren't the same as yours, and I'd be willing to bet if we all sat down and wrote it on a piece of paper, there's probably very few of us in this room that share the same expectations. We might be close, but I'll bet they're not exactly the same. So it was more trying to define that and try to find out what the average was so that I could make that my optimal and then give it steps to get to that optimal.
Yeah, you ask someone that's 90 years old, 80 years old, what's their expectation? They're gonna be a lot better than mine.
Any chance you guys could stay right here?
Got the coffee on.
So anyways, if you guys could ponder that, maybe give me some advice at the future session in regards to how because otherwise I'm going to structure it based on my expectations, and I know my expectations are not shared by everyone in the community.
No, but you are fire chief and the most qualified to do those things. But
Boy, I'd like to think so, huh?
am I to understand it? You're the president of the Maine State Firefighters Association, or is that? Are you in that affiliate group again?
Is what?
Are you the president of the Maine State Firefighters Association?
No. But firefighters is Ken Desmond.
Gotcha. But
Maine
you are the
Fire
president.
Chiefs is actually Ken Brilliant. I'm the treasurer for Maine Fire Chiefs
Okay.
Association.
I saw your name come across.
Money, I like money.
Yeah. All right.
It's not always mine, but I like money. I'm treasurer. Ken Brilliant, the chief of Brunswick, is actually the president.
Okay.
He's actually
Thought I heard you were
outgoing
president
president of
again.
Maine Fire Chiefs Association.
The truck 24, which truck is that?
Wow.
Ladder. The ladder didn't start?
No, and it was a battery for the lawnmower battery. It was back in the vintage when they were still putting in the lawnmower battery to isolate the control module of the computer. Yep. That's what it ended up being.
Any other questions for Chief? Anything else for us?
Nope, that was it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Calvin.
Whiskey.
The vodka. See you later.
Bonner looks good.
Oh, hey, Bill! Has that been dug? Is that been dug safe over there?
Dig safe?
Dig safe? Yeah, dug, dig. Do you have to dig safe over in front of the barn?
Yep.
It has been.
I would assume we have to.
Right, well, I mean, I didn't know it already had been.
No.
Okay.
No.
I just,
Usually the contractor takes care of
I would
that.
assume, for any kind of digging, don't you have to do it?
Anything from mailbox.
Yeah,
You wanna put a
supposed to.
mailbox on the road, you can put dig safe.
Yeah, so.
I didn't know if you had done
As far
that
as
prior to.
lines there, the only line I know of is actually the drain line. We still have to.
Yeah, I was just curious, I didn't know where you've been thrashing around doing stuff if you'd
Nice.
done that, so that's okay.
Yeah.
That was just a curiosity question.
More? You kill a tree?
Oh,
I got the, that's yours. Yep, there you go.
Did you get one?
I got the roof.
You know, I made this.
That's good. I don't know, when I get around, I'll see what I got left. That's the balance of the, that's where we're at with the bonds, for the road bonds.
looking good, are we?
Looking good.
Looks like we are, but.
Yep, we're gonna be right there. Right on
Is
the,
there another coat going on Runaround Pond Road?
we'll put that on next spring.
We're gonna get Rabbit Road this year, since it's all ditched and ready to rock and roll?
I'm gonna try to let it sit.
All you want?
I'd like to let it sit, just to see if anything moves.
We're gonna be locked in the same price, so we ain't gonna jack the price up on us. I mean, we only got so much money there, you know, should we jump now or what? And the cheapest is right now this time of year. I
Yeah,
don't want next year to have a go up on us and we're ready to rock and roll this year.
yeah, well, recommendation is always let it sit over winter. If it moves, from what I'm told, it's not much, but that's a risk you always take of letting it sit, but.
I just don't wanna run out of money either. I don't want you to come to me and say, we're $10,000 short, and we could've done it last year for the price, at this, and we didn't do it.
Well, let me,
Cause I got guys who are running roads up in Lisbon, we're doing both quotes, we're wanting to do it.
let me,
I know Rabbit Road's all ditched, right? So she's ready for the second coat?
well, just, if, sometimes things move, and it's a good chance to, things didn't get compacted right or something, and you find a spot, it's a good chance to, you can get the cover that all up. So, it worked good for us in Pownell last year, and everybody recommends it, so. I don't know, let me get the project done. I've been, functions of my teeth here. Let me get the project done and we'll look at it and see if we want to do it, we'll let me make the decision at that time.
Okay.
Pass these around. I'd like to go to this training. That's the required training. When that comes around. Oh, here we go.
You gonna go to Auburn one?
Yep.
Awesome. Don't blame me.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Bangor. So,
What is this? Wait a second.
Tomorrow?
That's
That's
2
next-
days.
that's 2 days.
Is there still openings for that one?
Yep.
No.
Well,
Might wanna go to that.
pass these around. That's why I was late getting here. I had to shovel those holes and put those signposts in. Rest of the crew went home, so I was over there by myself.
Wow, and you donated this then?
That's what it looked like, we had it.
Photoshop, huh? How long did it take you to play with the Photoshop?
I didn't do it. I took a picture and sent it to them and asked them to do a photo sim. So that's what it looked like. This came out with orange. Do it.
Now, we ran into this trouble in Lisbon. That sign gonna hold up to the snow?
Uh-huh.
Snow plow, ours got cleaned out in Lisbon.
Yeah.
And we also had to set our post back so much, the state said it was okay where we wanted to put it.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So,
I don't know if we're less hurried in 2016
Where
as
did
we
the
were
mud
back
go?
in
I was gonna
1986.
ask, have you seen them driving on our roads?
I saw that somewhere. You don't know where that comes from? This thing?
The life is a little less hurried. Where did that come
I
from?
saw it somewhere when I was looking up the town of Durham. In the past, there was some sign that had that on it.
No, I've never heard of that.
Never seen it.
Well, life used to be a little less hurried.
Well, anyway, you put what you want.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Where you can go any speed you want.
I don't think we need to tell them that.
They already know it.
Yeah. So that's granite on each side?
Mhm.
No wonder it took you so long to put them in.
Nice and straight, too.
So, I had, now that, it's orange, obviously it would be gold, not orange, but, I had, Paul call, the sign company, they're the same company that did the, Public Works. And thinks it would be around $2,500,
For everything we see in here
for the sign.
is,
Well, the sign, not the granite post, right?
that's gold metal flake?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's, what do you call it? Gold,
It's usually,
Yeah, it's
gold,
Gold inlay.
gold flake.
it comes on a little sheet of paper real thin and they
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
they press it on. Yeah, I know how it's done. I've seen it done.
but they're also gonna,
Carve it.
carve it, thank you.
Right.
That thing, you know.
What kind of warranty do we got with the sign? How long do they say?
I don't know, they did your signs, they did, they do them all.
Carrot?
Yep.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I sent her the picture and said, could you please, right behind that Durham sign is the spray paint graffiti that says, no parking.
Yep.
So she covered it up with but that's exactly where it would sit.
It looks exactly like our signs in Lisbon. If you guys wanna see granite posts and everything, go drive through 196 in Lisbon.
Anyway, just worry about that, as people get awful tempted to spray paint that rock there, are they gonna, you know, are they gonna spray paint the
Something
sign?
you do about
Don't
that.
need to give people ideas.
I didn't give them the idea to spray paint the rock.
Well, rock
You're
is,
reviewing your misspent youth.
Paintball guns.
It's kinda like anything, we can't let the
You can't
few
stop
wreck
that.
it for the
And-
many, so.
I can spell a lot.
Lisbon's lasted quite a while over
It
there.
has, yeah, they have. My sign over there has lasted.
so you see the correspondence with DOT. Not done yet, but pretty sure that they'll be fine.
Do we, the question is, do we even have it, do we have it that we could do it this year, or is this something that we'd have to do some other year?
We have the money, we have the funds.
And where would we take it out of?
Well, we have the 20.
I say put it on top of the rock.
That's why I said, just get an artist to do a whole mural of
Yeah.
welcome to the town.
The reason we can't do that is the ice. The rock builds up with ice.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a bit.
Somebody had to suggest, somebody actually, a townsperson actually had a suggestion on the ground up above and so on, so everybody's craning their neck as they're going. But at least they wouldn't drive into our sign, they drive into the.
That's right, the sign will be protected.
What was up for the price again for that sign?
I think 2,500.
2,500 for the sign?
That was a ballpark.
Right,
Then we got 2 granite posts that.
I can put those in wood. They can do granite. They can.
Granite looks nice.
Yeah.
Wood never rot, wood rots, granite don't.
Well, we'd have to put it 6 feet high because the snowbank.
Yep.
So
So you're looking at, yeah, 6 and 4.
We put
And-
10 footers on.
that's 15 feet off the road.
Steal Lisbon's and just paint on the back of it.
It was to say $3,000 probably by the time you're done to say.
Probably more than that if you're gonna use them granite posts, especially they're gonna be 10 feet tall.
I mean, you could put like incorporated what year or whatever on the side.
I think
probably,
that's,
yeah.
incorporated 1789 or something like that. It would be, I think that would be better than that, but.
Well, back to the funding of this, is this something we got, or is this something we could ask for the town on the floor? Everybody's quiet.
Well, we could discuss that.
Is,
At least you can see what it looks like. So.
yeah.
It's Calvin's budget, not mine.
I'm gonna assume we probably don't
Your
have that in the
advertising
budget, we didn't put it in there.
Yeah, there's not enough.
Unless there
money
was
in the
some
advertisement budget for that.
leftover runaround pond money,
That's
take it out of that.
I think it's
But-
nice, and it's nice to have.
No,
but
can't.
I don't think you can do that now.
Doesn't-
Can't.
I could take it. I could see what. I'll see what we can do. I might have enough in my sign budget. I don't know.
Okay, see what you can do, if you ain't, then we're gonna put it in next year's budget. and
Yeah, that's
let
what
it
I'd
roll.
do, yeah.
I think it would look nice if, yeah.
It would look nice to have it up there, I mean, you'll make some brownie points with that one.
Yeah, I don't know why it came out orange, but it should be gold. But apparently the printer didn't realize it.
Gold looks different on paper.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's that. So. So the roofer has agreed to the 29. He's coming down later this week to go over it with me. And I faxed it to him. They didn't get the fax, and I don't know. There's something screwed up with our fax. It's the second person that didn't get it, but I've got a receipt so that it went through. So. I checked his references, and they were perfect. So, public works directors and school administrators all said he was perfect. So, nobody had anything bad to say about him. There's a triple culvert on Auburn Tunnel Road. This summer we started getting holes in the road. And so we went up and looked at it, and apparently there's no bottom of the pipes, and the gravel is just going down in between them. And so I think that what triggered it was when we shimmed it for the chip seal.
Vibrate.
I think the vibration must have been just holding on by a
Don't
shoestring.
finish it off, yeah, probably.
And now all of a sudden we're having hole shot, so. I met with the engineer, I'm waiting for his report to come back. I gotta fix my teeth here again now. And,
Get some gum, stick it in there for you.
well, I just had a new bridge put in, that didn't work too well, so. So that's about.
You waiting back for the report on that one?
Yep,
What's a ballpark to fix that?
don't know until I get that report, what he wants to do. So that's about all I've got.
Fire truck's almost ready.
Be in probably next week.
What'd they do with the ladder? They built ladder inside and outside? Is that something we should have on the other trucks? We should put on at some point?
Yeah, for everything, let's get out.
At least the ones we're not gonna be getting rid of in the next couple of years and stuff.
Right. Right. That's what I mean, yeah.
Probably have Scott Weldon.
Yeah, that's,
No, any other questions? Thank you. Rather than do an executive session, is there a time that we could meet, because we need to meet with our attorney at some point between now and the end of next week, so that we can discuss.
I don't need to do that.
No, you don't need to do that.
you don't want
I don't need to do that.
You sure? You might.
So is there a time that we could?
That's what I'm gonna say. I just say, I just went with Mike Stewart. Whatever he said.
All right, so is there a time that we could meet? Could we do like
We could do next Tuesday.
next Tuesday evening, 6?
5:30.
No,
Tuesday at 6.
Tuesday at 6. Does that work for you?
Yep.
All right, so let's see if that works for the attorney. Okay.
You said you couldn't make that.
I can't make the
30th.
9 AM on the 30th.
Yeah. So.
You
All right.
don't want- You don't want me at that meeting, do you?
date, yeah?
Yes, I mean, I can still meet with the attorney and just tell him what
You'll do the minutes?
extent.
What's that date?
Next Tuesday is
Friday. Oh, the date for the.
27th.
27th.
So, all right, so there'll be regular selectmen's meetings here at the town office, Tuesday, October 4th at 6:30, Tuesday, October 18th at 6:30. I think that's it. Is there anything else that we need?
Not useful, I guess.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries, please.